Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Time for another quick card today. Simple Christmas card, clean lines, really sweet. Little bit of lines embossing just for added detail, and uses minimal supplies. I'll turn the camera down and I will talk to you and explain what we're using as we go. So this is the card we're going to make today. Very simple card. One layer card, uses very vanilla. I'm going to open it up so I can show you a little better, where you can see the embossing on the front of the card. What we used for the card was the Poinsettia Petals stamp set, which is available in this year's catalogue. It carried over. It's on page 92, and the Poinsettia dies, which are on page 165, and they carried over as well into this year's catalogue. So let me just put that out of the way, set the card to one side. So let me just bring in the big shot, and we will cut out some poinsettias. We're going to use just a half sheet of regular very vanilla cardstock to cut them out. And we're going to cut out two each of 3 different sizes. Let me just move this to the side for a second. We've got the largest one, the middle one, and the small one, and we're going to cut out 2 each, and then we're going to cut out 1 large in gold just to put on the back. So we've just got a scrap of gold, regular gold foil cardstock there. So let me move the cut and emboss in. Now I'm cutting out 2 each of these. It makes a really full flower on your card, and that's okay. You can get away with just cutting 1 each of each size if you want to, and you've still got a nice flower to work with. So it's your choice, whatever you wish to do. I'm going to cut out the 2 sets again, because that's what I used on the first card. So we're done with that piece. We're going to now take the piece of gold foil and do the same again, but only using the largest flower this time for flowers. But I'm also going to cut out a couple of tiny little pieces for the center of the flower, and if you can see, that's these 2 pieces here that I'm going to cut out, just to make a center for my flower. Now the only reason I'm cutting these out of foil instead of using a gem is because this card is quite thick when you get all of your layers together. So out of gold, these are the pieces I've cut out, 1 large flower and 2 center pieces for the flower. So what we're going to do, we're going to piece the flower together and then just set it off to the side. So I'm just going to take my bone folder, and it's up to you which way you want your flower to sit. I set mine on this card so that it was all sort of bending towards the back of the bending towards the card, not away from it. Okay, so I'm just taking my bone folder and running it over every petal, and I'll put them in sort of groups of 2 so that I've got all my sizes together. And these dies do a really nice job because they cut and emboss at the same time, and they're just lovely. And you don't have to make your flower out of cream, out of vanilla. You can make it out of, you know, if you've got a sparkly red, that makes a beautiful flower. Alright, so let's get started. So I'm just going to, whoops, I've got a, yeah, right. So I've got 6 flowers here, and I'm going to take and just put a glue dot on the back of one of the large ones, and then I'm going to put it, I'm going to offset it with the other large one, more offset. There. I'm just lining up the centers, speed things up here. And then on the gold one I want on the front. Okay, so we've got the two largest ones. Now we're going to take the two medium and we're going to just pop them somewhere in there, trying to keep the centers all the same. Just so that they're not overlapping. The same leaf is not overlapping, you know. There's 5, there's 6, and then on the gold ones, where I put all the dots on the back of these, on the gold leaf, gold cutout, I put the glue dots on the front. Alright, now I want to line this up because I want the gold to be peeking out of all of the openings. I'm going to take my Wink of Stella pen, Wink of Stella, and I'm just roughly going over all the petals just to give it a little bit of extra shine. Okay, so there we have it, and I think we've got a bit of Wink of Stella on all of the petals. Right, so now we're going to take these two little pieces we punched out of the center, and I'm just going to turn this piece over because I'm going to glue that down. This piece here, the solid piece, I'm going to put on a glue dot. There. Put this right in the middle of my flower. Just there. This piece I'm taking some clear adhesive, and that's why I'm working on my silicone sheet. This piece is easier if you pick it up with your tweezers, because then you don't get your glue all over your fingers. And I'm just going to have a look and see which way this sits and line this piece up on top of this, going the right way. There. Push, line it up, and we're just going to put that off to the side to let it dry. We're going to bring in the scoring board now, and we're going to take the actual card base, and it's just very vanilla 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, standard card. You're going to score it from the inside because you want the lines to pop on the outside. Okay, and I'm taking my stylus from the scoreboard, and I've got a very small point here and a large point here, and I'm going to use the small point. Now your lines don't really matter, okay, just bear in mind when you close your card you want your lines to be down this side and along the bottom. Okay, so you're scoring from the inside, so you're going to score here, which is close to the top, and down this side. Okay, so it doesn't matter what your lines are. You could make your lines go from the edge of the center of your card to the edge of your card and right across this way if you want to. That's kind of the easiest way to do it. When I did mine, I didn't do right to the edges. I staggered the length of the lines and staggered them there as well. This, you can see it a little better here. The lines sort of go, they stop on an angle like that, and there and there, and I just thought that was kind of nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start about 1/2 inch down, and I've got to stand up to do this. So I'm going to start about 1/2 inch down, and I'm going to go about 1/2 inch, about an inch in, and 1/2 inch, let me see, an inch here, and I'm going to start at 1/2 inch thereabouts. Okay, so get your pen going in the right groove and try to keep it light, and I'm going to score. This is going to be my longest line, and then I'm going to go on my 3/4 length, and I'm going to come up a little bit Oops. And I'm not going to score as long as the other, so it's off a little bit to this, a little bit shorter. And then this one is going to be 1 1/4, and it's going to start from just about 1/4 inch. There. Now I'm going over those again while I've got this still on the scoreboard, so that I know that my lines are marked nicely, and when I turn it over you can see you've got 3 nice lines there to go by. So then you're going to turn your card over this way, and you're going along what is the bottom of your card, and you're going to do the same thing, except that you're going to move these a little bit higher because you want to be able to stamp your Merry Christmas at the bottom. So your first line is probably 1 1/4 in, alright, and probably start about 1/2 inch again. And I'm going to come just about 1/4 inch past where I finished the first time, and then I'm going to 1 1/2 inches, and I'm going to start about 1/4 inch shorter, and then down here I'm going to come on my 1 inch mark, there. So that should do it. So when we turn this over, you can see we've got 3 nice lines going down here and 3 going this way along the bottom. So now we're going to do some stamping. And for my stamping I decided to use the Delicata Golden Glitz ink, which was in last year's catalogue. There isn't a gold in this year's catalogue, but I'm sure if you look in your stash you can find a gold, or you could emboss in gold, whichever you feel most comfortable with. I'm going to use this Delicata ink, and I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas along the bottom. Okay, so I find you have to really get a lot of ink on your stamp to make this really work well, and because it's a clear stamp you need to use your foam pad here to stamp on. I'm just going to hold that there for a minute or two. Oh, that's lovely, lovely. And then for the inside we're going to stamp May Magic and Wonder Bloom This Holiday. These stamps are both from the Poinsettia Petals stamp set. So really for this card you've got 1 stamp set, 1 set of dies, and a sheet of Very Vanilla and a little bit of gold. Nice. So there you have that. Let me move my mat out of the way. Give my card a good burnish across the top. Find my poinsettia, which should be dry now, so I'm not getting any Wink of Stella on my hands. I'm just going to take a dimensional. There we are. You might take 2 dimensionals. You don't know how it's going to work. You know, you're not just sure how it's going to stick. So you could take 2, you could take 3. I think we'll take 3. There. And I've just put those in the center on the back. And we're just going to place this flower somewhere nicely. there. And there it is, one beautiful, really simple card. Not a lot of work at all, but I think the Wink of Stella finishes it off, and the gold, the actual gold stamp finishes it off. So there it is, one poinsettia card. Let me just turn the camera up. As always, this is my creation. If you want to copy it, please do. Just give credit where you saw the card, and if you sell the card, please remember to use the Stampin' Up! Angel stamp. And that is it for this week. I will be back next week with another card or something for you. Have a great week, everybody, and thanks for watching. Bye.